Alright, hey guys, if you saw my last video, I literally have not even moved an inch. As I said, I had a couple of ideas and I'm probably gonna be doing batches of videos. So, I have had a conversation, or this conversation's come up with a couple different people in a couple of different forms in a couple of different ways. And I'm not trying to call anybody out, but there's something that's been said a couple of times that really, frankly, kind of disturbs me. And I think I want to, in my own way, set the record straight or explain something. So, I live in a fairly small community. Small town, small area. All the pagans more or less know each other or have heard of each other. If anybody gets out or around, and being someone who's running a coven, I have both famously and infamously come up in conversation with several folks. So I have on occasion been introduced to people who have already heard of me, but maybe I haven't met. Or people I've kind of spoken to that now feel that we need to have a conversation. And I've had multiple people come up to me and say something to the effect of, well, so I hear you're a priestess with actual papers. I need you to know that either I myself or other people are priestess level too, and that, your tradition isn't the only thing that gives you priestess powers. One, that's really aggressive, and I'm just gonna let that go. I don't really want to get into why people feel the need to have a pissing contest. I think it's unfortunate. What I really want to focus on is the wording. Priestess level power or powers. Okay, and just disclaimer, priest, priestess, clergy, insert the word that you choose. I am a woman. I'm using the term priestess because it's easier for me, and it's easier than going priestess, x, et al. Every time I say a phrase in a sentence. I'm going to cut to the chase. Being a priestess has absolutely nothing to do with power. Being in a system where you get a title, at least in my experience and the systems I've worked with, that I work in, or people I've spoken to, it has absolutely nothing to do with power. Being initiated, okay, and obviously I can't talk about what really goes on in an inner court circle, yada yada yada. Okay, I'm just gonna burst some people's bubbles right now. No secrets spilled, just hold on to your hat. There is, in my opinion, nothing about an initiation or an elevation, that's first, second, third degree, etc., that grants you mystic powers. In my opinion, and there probably will be people that disagree with me, and that's fine, at least in terms of what I have studied. First, second, third degree. It is a recognition of service and devotion. Meaning that when somebody is referred to as priest or priestess, whether it's first, second, third degree, lord, lady, whatever, okay, from a traditional perspective, it is referring to their years of service, their devotion to the community, and their devotion to their tradition, their gods, etc. At no point did somebody go, bibbidi boppity boo, poof, you have superpowers. Anybody who puts in the time, finds the sources, and puts in the effort can develop psychic, witch, mystical, magi, whatever you want to call them, abilities. Okay, I am one of those people who will tell you we all have or have access to psychic ability. We all can perform spells. The words that come out of your mouth every day, the thoughts that you think, are spells. That being said, what makes a priest, priestess, witch, clergy member, etc., has nothing, or should have nothing, to do with power. As mentioned before, a lot of the wider community seems really interested in pissing contests. I'm really not. I'm me, I do what I do, Okay, yes, I'm a 3rd degree high priestess. What does that mean to me? That means I have a charter and I have the ability to start an official sanctioned Gardnerian group. That's all that actually means. I have a piece of paper that says you can have a coven now. Yay! And that's great. And don't get me wrong, I worked damn hard for that piece of paper. Okay? In terms of who and what I am as a witch and as a human being. Okay? I went through Gardnerian training to be able to certify myself to get that piece of paper. However, I am a flesh and blood human just like you. You know, I have or have access to psychic and witch abilities just like you. You know, I can say in my individual case, I've spent at least 10 years working on them in a formal setting. My mother was a witch, so I got a little bit of a leg up, and I probably started some of my training and my skills a little earlier than some. But whether you're Gardnerian or eclectic or any of the above, anybody can put in the time and energy that I have put in and get somewhere similar to where I am. We're all different people. We're going to end up in different places. Now, can you be a certified Gardnerian as an eclectic? No. There's certain things you just have to have. I'm so sorry. However, can you still have quote-unquote power, since that's the word that's been used? Abso-freaking-lutely. Okay? Nowhere did I say, have I said, or am I going to say, unless I've lost my mind, that I am more powerful than somebody else. I think that I really, really, really just want to get through to people that, and it's not even me or my ego personally, I'm just disturbed that people think it works that way. And don't get me wrong, there are people in every social group. I think, what's that saying? If you get more than 3 people in a room, you're going to have politics. There's always going to be some asshole who's going to lord themselves over somebody. I've seen Gardnerians that do it. I've seen eclectics that do it. I've seen XYZ, you name the person. It's going to happen from individuals. You get people with ego trips all the time. I can't excuse them. I can't make them do what I want them to do, okay? Generally speaking, okay, someone who has a degree, it is a recognition, just like in college. Hey, you spent the requisite time and passably did, XYZ skill. I dub you, an associate. I dub you a bachelor's. I dub you a master, as in college. There are still skills in this world. For example, I do taxes and numbers. You can become a bookkeeper by way of self-training. If you know where to find the information, if you know where to find the skills, you can actually teach yourself those skills and get a position. You can do self-training courses and get yourself a certified bookkeeping job by going it on your own. You can also go to college or university and do the same thing. Now, humans being humans, they're almost always going to consider the university certificate to be worth more. That's people. I don't really know what to say there. But you can still do the job. Okay? In the same way, Wicca, magic, traditions, you name it. If you know where to go and you know how to get the information, someone can learn to be just as quote-unquote powerful as I am if they put in the same time and effort that I have. Everybody's always going to be a little different. We're all going to have our specialties. Everybody, I think, is better at one thing or the other thing. I'm a short, dumpy girl that's not very, tall at all. I'm never going to play basketball. There's always going to be somebody that definitely plays ball better than I do. Well, there's certain things that, I'm good at that maybe the ball player's not. So we're all going to have kind of our niches, and that's true even within a tradition. But I just really want to get through, and I'd really love to work on this idea that traditionalists think they're more powerful than other people. And maybe there's a tradition out there that does. Maybe there's a system that I'm not aware of that's purporting that, but I haven't found it. So I just want to be clear, when degrees are thrown out, when degrees are used, and especially when I'm using them, all it is a recognition. I have myself personally, using me as an example, I've spent 10 years serving the old gods, as it were. I've spent 10 years, and longer than that, even when I was 15, I self-dedicated to paganism. I self-dedicated to my training and the gods and so on and so forth. And that is all ultimately a priest or a priestess is. And in that sense, I think it's totally valid for somebody to be a priest or a priestess in their own home. Now, can you say you're a Gardnerian or an Alexandrian or a Minoan or a specific priest or priestess? Not unless you belong to that system. But for me, it comes back down to that devotion. And I really would like to focus on sharing that devotion with people. I'm not here to compete with anybody except myself and who I was yesterday. And I know it sounds hokey. But very seriously, I do what I do. I try to improve every day. And being that I've been on this path for a little while, if I can help somebody else, even one other person, a little bit along the way, I'd like to. I am simply Runa, meaning I'm just Runa. I'm only Runa. I am just myself doing what I do. I am not a god. I am not, a goddess. I am not, the Pope. I am not, some big Billy badass who thinks I can take everybody else out. It doesn't work that way. And I just really want to kind of get through to people that titles are just freaking titles, dude. Whether it's me or anybody else. Now, if you want to train under me and you need to know that I'm certified and I'm not full of shit, hell yeah, that title has weight. Here are my credentials. Just like a lot of people don't realize, if someone says to you that they have a master's in biology from Cambridge, the point of that piece of paper originally is back in the day when we didn't have the internet, we didn't have all these things, somebody could write a letter or send a telegram or whatever to Cambridge and say, hey, John Doe says that blah, 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 blah. Can you verify? Because way, 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 way back when, people could say whatever and there wasn't necessarily a system. Okay? Belonging to a tradition or being quote-unquote certified, it's the same thing. If someone wants to study and train under me and they want to know that I am who and what I say I am and that I'm not somebody on an ego trip, I can say, here are my papers, this is where you go, check me out. And we do encourage that to happen. Being a priestess isn't about power. I enjoy so far having a coven. I was actually very surprised that I started getting students and interest immediately, and I've begun building a family. I've begun building something with other people, and by being able to guide other people and showing them how to do what I know how to do, in terms of the tradition, it's not all about me, but in terms of, this is how we build a circle, this is how we worship, this is how we study, this is how we practice. I'm very pleased to say, even people who have heard of me or gravitated toward me that want nothing to do with my coven specifically, they're happy in the corner they're in, I'm already meeting some really awesome people. I've started to meet some really cool eclectic people, and I don't care if they want to join my coven. In fact, I'm a little swamped right now and probably prefer that they try not to, because I don't know if I can handle that many people. But the point is I get to meet people. I get to do cool shit. I get to have, these events where I get to have these conversations because I care about the other people coming. It's not about me. It's not a power trip. It's not power. It's community. And it's that devotion to that community. And I just really wish that I could explain to people, I don't have children, but I can only imagine it's akin to motherhood in that, hopefully when one has a child, one doesn't want to stomp on them and be like, me, 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 me. No, it's you. It's you. It's you people watching these videos. It's the people that come to my events. It's the people that I am so blessed to be able to teach, and they teach me back. They ask me questions sometimes that I'm like, holy crap, I've never even thought of it that way. Let me get back to you. And sometimes I ask my elders. I have called multiple times. My elders, my teachers, my initiators, people, and I'm like, dude, what do you think? And I'll sit down and I'll chew on it. I've learned more in the last year being a third degree than I think I've learned in the 10 leading up to it. Honestly, truly. About myself, about, everything that I want to do. And I am so very, very blessed. And so when I have the privilege of saying, I'm a Gardnerian priestess. I'm a Gardnerian high priestess. I am whatever. It is an honor to be able to say, I have served and I continue to do so. And so it just really saddens me when people think it's all about power, when people think it's about, one being better than the other, because as I said, and it's corny and I freaking meant it, the only person I'm trying to be better than is who I was yesterday, and I am trying to focus on that every single day, not just as a priestess, but as a person, and yeah, I just want to put that out there. So I hope that makes sense. If you have questions, if you have commentary, hell, if you disagree with me, please let me know. Comment, PM, and I will do the best I can to respond back. Okay? So thank you very much. It has been an honor and a privilege, and hopefully it'll continue to be so. Have a great day.